What did the World Cup, summer vacation, and a bunch of wild turkeys have to do with autistic overwhelm? You probably wouldn't believe me if I told you, but I'm going to try it anyway. Changes of routines.
Summertime and the living
Is not so easy. Kids are out of school.
But dude, you don't even have kids.
Kids are out of school, and people are everywhere all of the time. Stores are more crowded. People are out at weird times. Yes, I know other people's routines and plan around them. And you know what? It just happens. One day, the grocery store is super crowded during my super secret stealthy shopping time, and also lots of other times of the day, which for some reason made me want to fart and barf at the same time. I also had guests come visit and stay at my house. Now, that wasn't a surprise, and I knew it was coming. But it also changes things. A lot of things, like having more people in my space, more input, more stealthy trips to the kitchen. Sometimes I was tempted to turn the water faucet on while I was taking a dump, because didn't want other people to hear.
I can still hear you, bro.
It's a fun change, but it's also a change. And that hits autistic nervous systems differently sometimes. We can like those people and still struggle with the changes. And those weren't the only changes happening. The heat. Yes, I can't do anything about the weather, but it seems to really hit neurodivergent systems harder. And there's a really interesting reason for that. I'll share it in a minute. But lots of heat waves happening around the world, and wildfires, changes in when we can be outside, because otherwise our brains will melt, and so will our butts. But this isn't something where I can just go,
Oh, I'll just stay inside to stay cool.
oh, no. When I get overheated, a few things happen, because it's sensory overwhelm, and there's some stages. First, I feel on fire. Skin's itchy. Sun is way too bright, even with sunglasses. Don't get me started on swamp ass. And then comes the changes in routines because of the heat, like exercise.
We're not moving. I have to move and start burning some energy. Otherwise, how am I going to sleep? Have you seen this body? We don't tan.
Running errands.
Holy moly, I've got a lot of errands I need to run today. 12-minute window, then we're shutting down.
Sleep.
Sleep schmeep. There's no way we're getting comfortable in these temperatures. But I need sleep to function. Look, I'm hot, so I'm shutting things down. Why don't you do that thing where you mentally spin through all of the things that you aren't doing and then spiral?
So hot temperatures aren't just sensory overload, brain on fire, and itchy skin. That's the easy part, but not too easy. It's the changes and planning because of that. And all of that means lots of extra mental energy just to survive. The World Cup. Then there are special events. This year, it was the World Cup. And let me tell you, I really liked a lot of this World Cup. It's so awesome seeing all the teams and new countries there. And times like that are supposed to be fun. And it was fun, but it was also stressful. Overtimes, penalty kicks, bad calls from the referees, players rolling around on the ground like they've been shot, and then bouncing up and sprinting 30 seconds later.
Hey dude, don't forget about you throwing out your back yelling at VAR.
And Debbie also loves the World Cup. So we'd start watching a game when we really didn't care about either of the teams. We just wanted to watch. Then 2 hours later, I'm deep into research on how to send my opinions on the reffing team to FIFA. That autistic sense of justice, definitely visible. Could I calm down? Yeah, sure, after a few hours. So why'd my body think I just played my own match with triple overtime and PKs? To be perfectly honest with you, I couldn't just wind down after the games. I'd be up for hours, wired but exhausted. So by the second round, had some limits on how much I could watch, because I don't go in just a little when I'm into something. No, I'm all in. Even when I'm not at the game. Even after my team is out of the tournament. And my second favorite. And my third. Because even when the game ends, my body doesn't know the emergency is over. And oh yes, it really does feel like a crisis. The Odyssey. Then we went to see The Odyssey. And honestly, I wanted to see it. I usually love Christopher Nolan movies, but this one was a lot. And it was the first movie I've seen in the theaters for a really long time, probably in years. So I'm a little out of practice. And 3 hours in one spot kind of hurt my butt. So anyways, I went to the theater. A little warm, then the previews started. And some of them made me jump 40 feet out of my ass. And those jump reflexes also not good for the stomach or any internal organs. But I was ready for an epic. But actually wasn't ready for some of it. 3 hours later, I was completely exhausted. And even when the movie ended and I left the theater, my nervous system was still there for hours. And right before bed, I was getting flashbacks, intense ones, which was when I was reminded my body holds the tension for hours after, or weeks. So when the movie is over for other people, I'm still experiencing it and feeling overwhelmed by it for hours. And in the case of this movie, days of impact on my sleep. And that's when I realized I can want to do something and can think I'm ready to do something, and it still can overwhelm the crap out of me. The buddies. And then came the visitors. Now you might think I'm talking about people, and I did have some human visitors that did overwhelm me at times. You can love them, but still get overwhelmed. But I actually expect that. So those aren't the buddies I'm talking about here. No. These surprised me because usually they're calming, but not recently. It's been so hot. So I've been worried about the animals living near me, and there are a lot of them. Birds, squirrels, chipmunks, deer, and wild turkeys. I love watching them. I've got some great bird feeders, and I even have a squirrel house. But a couple weeks ago, when I watched them from inside, they were getting a little bit feisty. First, it was the turkeys fighting with each other, feathers flying, squawking, and then a pigeon I was trying to help. It was just sitting near the water dish, not moving for a long time. But could I help it? No, because when I got a little bit closer to investigate, it took off like a deranged jet zigzagging around, and then it landed 50 feet down the side of a cliff behind my house. He couldn't really fly, so I knew he wasn't going to make it through the night. And I thought about him for hours. It's hard to just walk away or tell myself, well, it's just part of nature. And suddenly, I'm deep diving into the best nutritional seeds for every bird living in the area. And also feeling worried about the heat. Bird baths? Water dishes? So what was originally my source of relaxation, I managed to turn it into a full-time wildlife management / investigative reporter / David Attenborough researcher job that nobody asked me to take. And that led me down black holes of learning that just made me worry even more about that one freaking pigeon. Because pigeons are actually pretty darn awesome. So 5 normal things that overwhelmed me recently. Will they happen again? Absolutely. I'm sure this isn't just me. So let us know some surprising things that have overwhelmed your brain in the comments. And watch this video next for more on your unique brain.
Why am so close to being finished? Hey bro, don't forget about you throwing out your back yelling at VAR. Hey dude. Sorry.